There's a war in AI agent research right now, and it sounds stupid. Should agents do tasks by clicking buttons on a screen, like a human with a mouse, or by typing commands like a programmer? Everyone has a hot take. GUI agents, CLI agents, hybrid agents, and every benchmark declared a winner, but here is the dirty secret. Every single one of those races was rigged. A new paper just ran the first fair race, and the result flips the entire debate. The side everyone called dumb was not dumb at all. Why was every comparison rigged? Because nobody held anything fixed. The GUI benchmarks and the CLI benchmarks used totally different tasks, different starting states, different success criteria, different allowed actions. So when a GUI agent scored higher than a CLI agent, you could not tell if the GUI was genuinely better or if it just got easier tasks, or a friendlier grading rubric. It was apples versus orangutans. The modality, clicking versus typing, was hopelessly tangled with everything else. Nobody could isolate the actual question. Is the interface the bottleneck, or is it the model? This paper's whole contribution is one methodological move that sounds obvious but nobody had done. Hold everything fixed. Same task goal, same starting state, same final state verifier. Then vary only one thing, the action interface, mouse versus keyboard. They call it the matched execution layer protocol. 440 tasks, 18 real applications, 12 workflow categories. For the first time, the only difference between a GUI run and a CLI run is the interface itself. Now you can finally ask, cleanly, where does each side break? And the finding is the part that broke people's priors. They measured how much of the work the CLI agent's toolkit could even address. The original CLI skills satisfied only 37.6% of the verifier checkpoints. 37. The agent was being asked to do jobs it literally did not have the tools for. So of course it looked bad. Everyone assumed the CLI model was weaker. It was not weaker. It was walking into the exam without half the pencils. The gap was coverage, not intelligence. Here is the proof. They patched the skills, verifier guided, so the toolkit could actually reach the tasks. Same model. Same interface. Just give it the missing tools. The CLI success rate jumped from 48.2% to 69.3%, a 21-point swing purely from coverage. That is the diagnostic upper bound, not a deployable system, but it isolates the cause. The supposed modality gap was mostly a skill gap wearing a modality costume. Now before you declare CLI the winner, hold on. The GUI side has its own 3 failure modes, documented cleanly for the first time. And one beautiful counterintuitive result. They gave the GUI agent explicit step-by-step workflow guidance, thinking it would boost completion. It barely moved completion at all. What it did do is cut wasted exploration by 20%. The agent was not finishing more tasks, it was bumbling around less. Sometimes the win is efficiency, not success rate. The real gift of this paper is the decomposition. Take the raw gap between GUI and CLI. Subtract the part explained by missing skills. What is left is the residual, the true modality gap, the part that is actually about clicking versus typing. Most of what people called the modality gap evaporates when you account for coverage. What remains is smaller, humbler, and actually actionable. You stop arguing about interfaces and start building tools. Why does this matter for you? Because every single agent framework, every startup, every research lab has to pick GUI, CLI, or a mix. Right now those choices are made on vibes and marketing. This paper gives the first empirical map of where each modality actually bleeds. If your CLI agent is failing, do not swap the model. Check the skill coverage first. That is a cheaper fix than a bigger brain. So, the takeaway. 1. Every prior GUI versus CLI comparison was rigged by confounds. 2. The matched protocol finally isolates the interface. 3. The supposed CLI weakness was mostly missing skills. 37% coverage jumping to 69 once repaired. Your AI agent is not necessarily dumb. It might just be under-equipped. Fix the tools before you blame the brain. Paper and code below. Subscribe, because the next debate is even more rigged.